doing. I hope the weekend's been good to you all. And if not, we are here to make it great. So let me just quickly introduce Devansh to you before we begin. Devansh is a part-time student and a full-time Flutter developer, just like most of us. He loves solving competitive questions in his free time, and if he's not solving them, you can either find him playing chess or binge watching some show on Netflix or Prime Video. Also, he's currently working as a Flutter developer in Nine Brains. It's a Rajkot-based software company. So let's just begin with the session. Over to you, Devansh.
Hello everyone. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, that was my intro by Madhura, and yeah, that's pretty much what I do. So let me share my screen. Yeah. So can everyone see it?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Just a sec. Yes. So how many of you have ever done some competitive programming in your career or by the time you started learning the programming?
I
Hello.
have played competitive programming for around 6 months. I am a 4-star code cheffer and a pupil in code forces, and I use C++ and Python.
That's great. I used to use Python, and I still use Python. I use C++ quite a few times, but yeah, I also prefer those two languages. But today's topic is how can we solve competitive questions in Dart. So, can anyone explain why we need to do this? Like, why should we solve questions in Dart when we can easily solve in C++ and Python? Anyone?
Might be when we were developing some Flutter application and we want to implement some algorithm, it will be easy for us to implement those algorithm. Like if we are creating a Flutter app algorithm visualizer, then it will be easy for us.
Exactly. So the main motive before I'll share all of these things in my presentation over here. But the thing is, we need something like it is not sure that if you are a good Flutter developer, it doesn't mean that you are a good Dart developer. Do you agree on this? Do you guys agree on this? Like, if you are a really good Flutter developer and someone asks you to write some Dart code without using any material widgets and all those things, any kind of widget, can you write? Like, that's the point. Yeah. So okay, let me just bring up my chat screen because I cannot see your chat. Okay, now it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, so this is the point for today's session that even if we are even if we are really good Flutter developer, we aren't that good Dart developers. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so we'll go directly to our agenda, what we'll do today, and yeah, so that's it. We'll first discuss what is competitive programming for those of you who are newer to this concept. Why should we learn that? Where we can apply it. This section is for Dart, specifically for Dart, where we can apply Dart's competitive knowledge in real life. And finally, we'll try to solve a question live, or I'll give you some question to work on. Okay, so the first thing, I really want you guys to turn on your videos so we can interact as freely as possible. Hello. Yeah, just turn on your video, guys, because it will be really great to see. Like इतने भी खराब faces नहीं है हम सबके. We can surely manage. Okay, if it's not possible, then it's all right. But it won't be like that. Okay, everyone is just watching the stream on a way to somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started, and please be interactive. Please be as interactive as possible. This session is not just for like मैं इधर आके बोल गया तुम लोग बस सुनते गए और पूरा हो गया, ऐसा नहीं होगा. I'll ask you guys a few questions, and we'll try to do something. Okay. Okay then. Let's start. So yeah, how many of you agree to this fact? Jai has some competitive programming experience. So do you agree with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really a point, but I do not agree with this completely. I have a few pointers to this. We need actual logic or common sense to solve extensive CP problems. CP stands for competitive programming. Just showing off our DSA knowledge won't work. If we just know how to invert a binary tree, that won't help us solving a complex competitive coding question, right? If we are we'll see that in the rest of our presentation. There is a question for you guys that you guys need to solve. Okay, so data structures and algorithm has this kind of motto, that if you write a code, make it work, make it right. Just because it works doesn't mean that it's the right way to do it, and make it fast. So these three are the main focus for competitive for data structures and algorithm questions, right? Okay, so what is competitive programming exactly? So it's a type of programming that's competitive. LOL. No, it's not. It's not a type of programming, but there are three main principles involved in competitive programming. So basically, to solve a problem with these three terms are really useful. First, you'll be in some sort of competitive environment where you will have some sort of stress-bound environment, and you'll have to solve a few questions in particular time period. So you'll have to you will have a question, you'll have a time frame in which you'll have to solve that question, and with your own logic. So, how many of you Flutter developers use Stack Overflow as their go-to tool when you're stuck somewhere? Literally everyone. Everyone. Like every one of us go to Stack Overflow or GitHub or pub.dev when we are stuck with something, right? In this scenario, it won't be the case. Most of the competitive questions won't, not most of, all of the competitive questions won't have any direct solution on any of the popular sites, but we'll need to we are of course allowed to, if we are allowed to refer the documentation, we can go and do that, but we won't be having any ready-made solution to any of the questions that we solve in a competition using these things. Okay, what is the need of learning this? Like Jay said that it will help us to, use this thing in our applications. But that's not the only use case. This was the main Naukri ka chakkar. If some of you are targeting FANG companies or any MNCs, they have this data structures and algorithm kind of. By the way, this is FANG. If anyone was not familiar with the term. Okay, so I am reading this chat. Stack Overflow is where half of my project is already written indirectly. That's great. Same goes for me, dude. Yeah, so this is FANG where we need to where if we want to work, they'll have this data structure kind of interview system where they'll ask some of these questions, and we need to solve those questions with our DS abilities. Yeah. I don't think Facebook and Apple will ever need Dart knowledge specifically, but yes, if one of us is targeting to be a member of Flutter team, the Flutter developer team in Google, yeah, then we definitely need to know how to do these questions in Dart. That will be a really good point to show off. So these are some of these famous competitions which allows Dart as their input language. Doing CP will improve logical part, but not necessary to use Dart. Any language could do that. Using Dart will clear concept of writing efficient code, not clean code like any dev do. Yeah, that I agree to that, bro. But if you are gonna work in the Flutter team, that is if you are going to do that particular kind of work where you want to contribute something to Flutter, then I guess you'll need to know how it works under hood. And at the end, at the root of everything, I know there won't be any kind of like these kind of serious questions that we solve in competitions, but I am pretty much sure that having knowledge of those questions will surely help one way or the other. Yeah, so this is these are some of these competitions where you can use Dart as your language. I cross-verified these three competitions. I also went to the Facebook Hacker Cup page to know Facebook Hacker Cup website to check whether they are allowing that or not. They have written that they have this. We can use any language whose open compilers are available. So I was really confused by what they really wanted to say, and I haven't participated in Hacker Cup yet, so I didn't know that can we use Dart or not. In CodeJam and Kickstart, yes, we can surely use those, and even Hashcode. Okay, so mudde ki baat, where can we use it in production? So apart from that case, that case that Jay suggested that we can use this in algorithm visualizer kind of app, we can also use these concepts in other apps. Let's see. This how can we use this knowledge in our production apps? That is, we can use this to make our apps fast and resource efficient. Well, this is one of the primary reasons why bank companies conduct their interviews in DS manners. It helps to train ourselves in such a manner to make optimal use of our resources and space. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so these are some helpful Dart packages from standard library. Dart math. Most of us have used this thing, Dart math, for generating a random number. If you have learned using that Udemy course from Angela Yu, she uses this package to create a random number in the Dicey application. Does anyone remember that? Hello? Yeah. So she uses this package to generate a random number from 1 to 6. So the same thing, Dart math package gives us ability to use mathematical constants and functions using plus a random number generator. Okay, and tongue is slipping. Yeah. So second is Dart core. Dart core is something that gives us access to really good stuff. Like we'll get access to linked lists, and we'll get access to stacks and queues, and these are some things that are nuanced that we won't use in our day-to-day life. But if they have that use cases that accept them, there is no other option to use. Like you can't use a list instead of stack, right? You can use, but that's not efficient way to do that, right? Again, if it is working, that doesn't mean that it's the right way to do that. Okay. Dart convert. Dart convert is basically we are using every now and then to convert our JSON objects into from string to JSON objects, right? We have this JSON.decode method, and then there is Dart collection. Dart collection is basically supplements to Dart core. By supplements, I mean they have this really cool collection of variations of these things, variations of linked list and stacks and queues and those. and you can use them right out of the box. Good thing is all of these 4 packages are included in the standard library, so you don't need to install anything externally. These all are available with Dart SDK. Okay, so let's get to the code. But before that, I have a question for you guys. How many of you used to play PUBG? Uh, how many of you used to play PUBG or are kind of gaming fan? Any sort of gaming fan? Among Us, no, Among Us won't do. Actually, this question is COD. I don't know if they have such. Okay, let me give a really good idea about what I want to ask. So in PUBG we had this TDM mode, right? PUBG we had this TDM mode where we had these 2 teams, and the first one to reach 40 kills will win, right? In given time, of course, in given time. So COD में ऐसा कुछ है क्या, like 40 kills या कुछ कोई भी एक नंबर होता है जिसको पहले रीच करने वाला जीत गया? Okay, CO is TDM. Yeah, right. Okay, so basically, the question is, you have this game, and you need. There are 2 players. And the game is to reach thousand mark. So there are n number of rounds, and for each round, you have the information that who won the round, and at the end of the competition you'll get a string. You don't have access to the competition itself, you just have access to the final result, which will be a string will be of different characters, which will be like these. Let me just switch to that slide. Yeah, so this is called race to 100, race to 1000, and in that game there are 2 players, player A and player B. So basically, these 2 players are competing against each other, and the best player, the player to reach 1000 points first, will win the game. Now, for each round, the player will get 1 point. Okay, and there will be n number of rounds. We don't know how many. So, how will you find the winner? Anyone?
We will just run a simulation, like we will start from first position of the string. If we encounter A, then we increment a counter, like counter underscore A variable, and if we encounter B, we will increment counter underscore B variable. This will be happening in an infinite loop, and if counter A is greater than 1000 or say counter B is greater than 1000, then we will break from this while loop, and then we will display the result accordingly.
Not greater
Okay.
than 1000. Let's check the limit to 1000, and after that loop is completed, we can check that if one is greater than other.
Okay, just give me a sec. Yeah. So basically, the solution that you guys suggested will be kind of to run through whole string and get the counter of who won how many matches, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, the best case scenario is the best case length of the string is 1000 units, right? In that case, every round is won by either A or either B. Okay. Now try to get me. Okay, I'm just asking you one more thing. So the best case scenario is we'll be having a string that is often is a worst case, right? So what if I tell you that this question can be solved in constant time? Doesn't matter that how long is the string, how many iterations do we need to do. This question can be solved in a constant time. Okay, this was a really easy question. Now let's twist it. And the twist of the question is over here. Now, there are no more 2 players. There is no more race to 1000. It's race to 10 lakh. And now there are 10 players, and in every round there will be variable score. Like there will be 1 to 10 score, but we won't be knowing who has how many score. We'll just be able to know that in which round who won. So the first one to reach 10 lakh score out of the 10 players is the winner. So what's the worst case over here now?
You might say it is constant time.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I guess O of n you can.
O of n won't be the first case. It will be O of n into 10 square, that's 100. O of n into 100, like n into 100. N into 100 will be the worst case because there are 10 players and 10 scores. So are you getting what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So how can we solve this in constant time? Okay, what I'm proposing for the constant time solution is just pick the last winner. Did you get it? Just pick the last. Okay, didn't get your question properly. Okay, so the question was there are 10 players. Okay, and there will be n number of rounds. We'll be having this information of who won which round in a string format. So there are 10 players. So A1 won the first round, A3 won the second round, A2 won the third round, so on and so forth. But the last round was won by A8, and then the competition ends. So we'll need to find who won the round and who won the competition.
Yeah, got it. That was pretty simple.
Yeah, so this was pretty subtle idea behind competitive programming. The best case scenario to solve this question is just pick the last winner, because that's when the competition would have ended, and that's when they have won. Like anyone, we won't be having information about who won and who lost. We'll just be having information about who won the round, right? And if the last round winner is the winner of the whole competition, that case only makes sense that he'll be the winner of the whole competition. I hope you're getting me. Okay, Jay, did you get? Jay didn't get the question. Did you get the question? Can you turn your mic on? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got the answer as well.
Yeah. So you guys are getting what I'm saying. It's not about how we approach the question. It's about how we approach the solution. Now, this question can be solved in constant time in any language. Like if we are taking C++, or if we are taking Python, or if we are taking Dart, whatever is our weapon, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to convey. And now let's solve one of the questions that I have previously solved in other language, but I haven't tried it in Dart yet. So you guys up for that?
Yes, for sure.
Yes. So yeah, let's solve the question. Let me change my screen to our favorite editor, VS Code. Wait. Just a sec. Hey, where is my screen sharing option? Yeah. Okay, so is my screen visible now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a VS Code screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the question is, this is a really easy question, right, guys? So I didn't want to, pulge into really hard question and then not be able to solve it in that. So I just picked up an easy question so that you'll get the idea on how we can solve the questions in Dart really easily. And this is probably the question you guys have already solved through those of you have experience of solving questions. This question is called Roman to integer. So Roman will have a string which will be a Roman integer and will be converting into a normal integer. Right. So the thing is, if we are having input as this triple I, so triple I in our normal language stands to 3, right? If we are having IV, then it stands to 4, so on and so forth. Right? But we need to come up something more, like suitable solution for this in Dart. So, okay, first of all, have you ever solved this question? Any of you have solved this question before?
No.
No. Okay, so this question is really this is classified as easy question, but it really has something that I liked. The way we can solve this question in a different manner is really good. So let's start. Okay, so this is boilerplate code that I have written in this Dart language. So let's start. Shall we? We'll just keep this main function empty for now, and we'll make a new function called which will return integer, and the function will be called Roman2, and it will take input of string. Sorry, string, and it will be called let's say Roman string. Let's say Roman. Less confusion. Okay, so first of all, our idea is to have something to return to, right? So we'll declare an integer called number, and we'll set it to 0, just for the sake of declaring it. And then we'll come up with something called integer counter. So let me spare this for now. I'll explain you why I have used another integer called counter. Okay, then we'll create something called dictionary. So dictionary like Python. Who had experience in Python competitive programming? Guys, yeah. So you guys know what is dictionary, right? Dictionary is basically a map that we are using it in Dart language. It's basically a map. Okay, hash map in Java and map in Dart. So we'll be declaring a map over here, which will be consisting of two things. First will be string. So keys will be string, and their values will be of integer type. And we'll name this map as Roman bit, and its values will be as follows. So basically, I have this map they have given in my question, that for what symbol, what is the value. So let's say for I is 1, and we know this, right? This stuff. Let me copy that stuff, and let me paste it over here. Okay, so this is multi-line comments. You guys know that, right? How to make multi-line comments in Dart. We can also select everything and then just control slash. So that's the way, but that will create single line comments for each and every lines. So this is Roman dict, and we'll be creating a dictionary accordingly. So let's say I stands for 1, B stands for 5, X stands for 10, L stands for 50, C stands for 100, last B stands for 500, and M stands for 1000. That's millennium. Guys didn't know that. Yeah, so this is called Roman dictionary, and this will give us some sort of context to what each letter means and how we can add that number to our main number that we want to return, right? So now let's create a list. So why do we need a list, by the way? So it will be a list of string which will be called Roman characters. And again, same drill. We'll just list out all the Roman characters in a list. Why? I'll explain later. Yeah. So up until now, I have declared four things. Four of the really important things needed to solve this question. So first one is number, which will be returning at the end of the function, so that we'll get exact number that we wanna, you know, show to the public. Like we want to return that number, and this will be used by this function to convert. Yeah. So the second one is counter. So okay, counter is for this particular part of the question. I can be replaced before V and X to make 4 and 9. So how will we know that I is not before X or I is not before V? There is no way, right? So for that, I have created a counter variable that will just see whether or not this variable is this character is followed by a character greater than that, greater of character more value of than that or not. Okay, and that value will be retrieved from this thing. If I'm saying that I is followed by V, so V has a greater index than I in this list, right? So this counter will check whether or not this one is greater than this or not. So you'll get the idea once I write the for loop. Yeah. So then we'll of course we need to run a for loop or any kind of loop to traverse through the whole string. So let's do that. Again, this is normal for loop, and okay, this for loop will be running from the 0th character. I mean, it will take more space than bool. No, actually, this bool won't work, and I guess I wasn't so much clear for that. Let me just write this thing, and then I'll explain. Okay. I'll be able to explain that more clearly when I use it. Okay, so let's okay, where was I? Okay, so we'll be running a for loop from 0th character of the string to the last second character of the string. Why? Because we'll be putting a condition to check for every element. We'll be putting a condition to check whether or not the next element to that is greater than or not. If we are checking that condition on the last character, it will just give us error about range out of index. So basically, we want to be able to access the next element for the last element. Am I making sense, or am I just confusing you guys?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go from integer I equals to 0 to the last second integer, last second index of our string Roman. Okay. Okay, so this is pretty much similar to C's for loop syntax. I guess that's pretty much same. So yeah, so now we are in the for loop. So now what we can do is we'll check whether this I, Roman of I, that is character at ith character of this Roman string is greater than or not with the next character of that string, like from this list, right? So let's do that. Actually, we are actually what we are doing is we'll get the index of this ith character of Roman with respect to this particular list to check whether this whether the character that we are looking for is smaller than the next character of the string or not. If it is smaller, then we'll need to operate something. We will need to operate something on that. Okay. So let's say Roman characters of index of element. Element will be Roman of I. Okay. And if it is less than Roman characters of then what we'll have to do if okay, so basically let me just come up with an example over here. So we have this string, Roman string, as let's say ix. Okay. Yeah, ix will do, I guess. Yeah. So this is a Roman string ix, which is roughly translated to which is translated to 9 in our own language. So it will be integer equals to 9. So what this is checking is if this Roman of index of I, that is 0th index of this string, is उसकी इंडेक्स मतलब रोमन कैरेक्टर्स की जो लिस्ट है उसमें इसकी इंडेक्स अगर उसके नेक्स्ट कैरेक्टर के इंडेक्स से कम है, if it is if the index of this character is smaller than index of this character in this list, then it will go over here in the if section. Okay, तो हम क्या करेंगे कि जो बड़ा नंबर है we'll just add the bigger number, that is how we'll get the bigger number, which one's the bigger number from here. If this one is less than this, then this will be the bigger one, right? So this bigger one number with respect to this dictionary will be added to number. Yeah, so did you guys get what I did over here? इसमें मैंने क्या करा वो समझ में आया कुछ?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so basically मैंने क्या
why do we exactly need the Roman cares array? Like, can't we just get the value from the dictionary itself and check if it is smaller or not? I mean, that is the sequence that we are following, right?
Yeah, we can do that as well. That's a good point, actually.
I mean,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, this will be constant. This will be a constant time, but still, why do you want to waste time?
Yeah, that's true. So let's do that. Okay. So let's change it to this. I'll just comment out the code, and we'll just check if this thing. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Nice. So Roman bit. Yeah. So Roman bit of Roman of I is less than Roman bit of Roman of I plus 1. So as I said, if the value of that is less than value of this. Okay, wait, guys. I guess okay. Well, let's just follow this one. But I guess we'll be stuck somewhere with this.
I guess this would also work because the number are in ascending order.
Sorry?
This would also work because number are in ascending order as only. No? This is what I guess.
Yeah, let's see. No.
Because if we use that array list, it will be comparing the ASCII values.
From here?
Yeah. Your initial code was comparing Roman chars. So it will actually compare the ASCII value, like A is less than B.
No, it will compare the index of that character. So it will be comparing index, not the ASCII value. Actually, it was comparing the index of that character in that list. But this point is really good. If we are, so this is the thing with dictionaries. We can search in constant time in dictionaries because they have this unique string concept. Each string is connected with some sort of hash value, which is always unique. So this is similar to, how can I explain? Yeah, so if you want, okay, let me just elaborate this a bit. If we are in a library, and if that library is really organized, we'll be we'll just have to ask the librarian where this particular book is. She'll just direct us to the section that we want to go, right? So dictionaries work like sort of work like this. They have this sections of the things where we can. I am blabbering, but I'm not sure how to explain this. So basically, the thing you need to know is that dictionaries can search in constant time, while this takes a nth worst case scenario of n, that is length of list. So if you want to search something in list, you'll be having a bit of trouble than compared to dictionaries. So yeah, this idea was really nice. So let's use that. So if the value of the ith index of the value of the ith index of this string is less than the value of the I plus 1, then it will just add the greater number and then subtract the smaller number from that particular variable. So let's do that. Yeah, so you guys get this, right? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So now we'll just add the counter to 1. Why? I'm asking you guys why. अब तो क्लियर हो जाना चाहिए कि क्यों काउंटर प्लस करते हैं. No idea?
No.
Okay, O of map is O of 1 average time. No, actually searching in dictionaries is O of 1. Yeah.
Okay, so counter plus one could be the
Actually,
reason
dictionary
to.
uses binary search tree. So if you traverse binary search tree, its worst case complexity goes to log of n.
Log of n. Not log of n. Dictionaries actually use keys as their actually uses keys
Yeah, but
as
if
their
you see
hash
log
table.
of n, actually it's very less complexity. So we treat it as a O of 1, because if we say 1 million is our n, then log of 1 million comes to a very less number. So it gives kind of constant complexity, but it's actually not, because it's used binary
That's
search
not
tree for its
true.
implementation.
No.
That's not true. They don't use binary search trees. They use hashing on the value,
Yeah.
whatever you provide, on the key value, whatever you provide. And because of that, it's only an array pointing that is done.
Yeah.
So
So
because in
there.
array, as you can use it constant time of pointing to any index, that is how hash maps are implemented.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they use
that's the
hashing
point.
and
That's the point of using dictionaries, because they are using this hashing kind of thing with their keys. The searching becomes really easy for us to do, and that's why it has a constant time. Someone wrote that it O of n is the worst. No, O of n is not the worst case. O of 1 is the worst case for searching.
No, it's actually order of n. When there is a lot of collisions that happen in hash maps, then you can go to order of n as well.
Yeah, on happening in
Usually
a lot
never
of
happens.
collisions. Yeah.
That usually never happens, but it's order of n first time if you want to say.
Yes, exactly. If we are having too many collisions, like if we are having way too many elements in the same hash table, then it can happen. But I don't think that is case in most of the cases, right? So yeah. So okay. So why I am back to the topic? Why I am adding 1 to the counter? So let's say this.
because we have the first thing, the less value than the next value greater than other, because we have I
Kind of.
before x.
Okay, so let me just see what will be this. What will be the answer for this one?
19.
19 will be this one too. This is 19. Okay, this doesn't make sense basically. I just wrote it that anyways, but X can be used with C. So C, this one over here. S can be placed before, okay, L and C to make 40 and 90. So basically this thing is written as 89. IXC translates to 89. So to check whether or not this element is last element before like ये सबसे लास्ट वाला एलिमेंट है कि जो अपने नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट से बड़ा नहीं है, वो चेक करने के लिए मैं काउंटर ऐड करवा रहा हूँ. तो जब भी ये काउंटर की वैल्यू लाइक इसके बाद काउंटर रीसेट हो जाएगा. लाइक कहीं पे भी मैंने काउंटर रीसेट करवाया होगा कि जिससे ये पता चल जाएगा कि इसके आगे की वैल्यू अब नहीं जा रही है कहीं भी. ओके, सो लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. सो हमारा एक केस हो गया कि भाई हमारा जो ये पहला कैरेक्टर है वो दूसरे कैरेक्टर से छोटा है या नहीं. अगर नहीं है, लाइक लेस देन नहीं है, तो क्या करेंगे? लेट्स राइट द एल्स कोड. एल्स में भी दो कंडीशंस हम लोग रख सकते हैं कि वेदर और नॉट दैट कैरेक्टर इज लेट्स से रोमन डिक्ट ऑफ रोमन आई इज ग्रेटर देन. अगर बड़ा है तो क्या करना है? अगर वो अपने पिछले वाले से बड़ा है, क्लियरेंस, अगर वो अपने पिछले वाले से बड़ा है,
Devansh, we can also make a final variable over here, na? That would reduce the count of searches as well.
Okay, let's do one thing. Let's just remove this counter variable altogether for now and see whether it works or not. Yeah. So we are first of all we are checking that whether or not the current character is greater than the previous character. If it is greater than the previous character, then it's already counted over here, right? It's already counted over here if it is a greater character than the previous one, because we would have counted that on the previous one as well. So in that case, we'll just skip that.
In that if block, you are like incrementing and decrementing number by considering two index positions. Suppose we have a number with length 3, means a string with length 3. So if it goes to first if block, you will operate on first index and second index, and then in second iteration you will operate on second index and third index.
No.
So basically you are operating twice in second index.
Yeah, that's why I put the if block over here. If that index is already operated, and that will be only case when that character is greater than the previous one. So I'm just checking that if the current character is previous than the first character. Okay, so now there will be this glitch where we'll need to check if the character that we are checking should not be equals to 0. Why? Because the previous character to that won't be previous character to 0 would be -1, and that's out of index, right? So we'll be putting a condition over here that if I is not equals to 0 and this condition is satisfied, right? So Roman dict and Roman dict of Roman of I, that is value of the current index, is greater than the value of the previous index. Then what we'll do, we'll just skip that character. So I hope Jay, your question was solved from here.
Yeah.
Right. So if we are doing this, like let's say, okay, we won't be going into. We have this test cases over here. We'll just copy that so that we don't have to write every time we want, every time we need. So these are the test cases. So that thing will be so from here. So in this thing, once we are iterating over this C element, so C is 100, right? So C की value 100 हमें पता है. उसके बाद चेक करते हैं कि उसका नेक्स्ट कैरेक्टर जो है M वो C से बड़ा है या नहीं. अगर बड़ा है तो उसको हम ऐड करेंगे और उससे माइनस करेंगे. सो 900, इसकी वैल्यू हमें मिल गई 900. लेकिन अगर हम नेक्स्ट मूव पे इस पे जाते हैं, तो इसका इटरेशन अगर हम वापस करते हैं, तो ये 1000 ऐड करेगा एक और बार, which we don't want, right? So that's why I just checked कि करंट एलिमेंट जो है वो प्रीवियस एलिमेंट से बड़ा है या नहीं. अगर बड़ा है तो स्किप कर दो, क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी हमने काउंट कर लिया होगा यहाँ पे. ओके, एंड इफ नहीं है, अगर वो नहीं है, ठीक है, so just add that. If it is not there, then just add it. Okay, and then इतना हो गया, हमारी आधी चिंता खत्म हो गई. So most of the cases would be solved, but now remains the edge cases. What about those numbers who are similar, like I? So 3 का क्या करेंगे? अगर 3 इसमें कहीं पे भी इक्वल टू तो हमने लिखा नहीं है, ठीक है, कि ये इक्वल टू वाले केसेस कहीं पे तो गिनेगा नहीं. So let's do that. And the this whole loop is iterating for the except the last element of the string. So last element इसमें consider नहीं हुआ है अभी तक, ठीक है. Where is this one? So let's just get out of this for loop and write something for the last character also. So if अगर ये जो रोमन बिट में why it is giving me error?
You are not compared it, no?
Okay, बेसिकली इफ ये जो हमारा ये वाला जो एलिमेंट है, लास्ट वाला एलिमेंट, अगर वो पिछले वाले एलिमेंट से बड़ा है, लास्ट वाला एलिमेंट लास्ट सेकंड एलिमेंट से, लास्ट सेकंड वाला एलिमेंट उसके पहले के एलिमेंट से बड़ा है, तो डायरेक्टली नंबर रिटर्न कर दो. वो हम करेंगे वाई एलएच में. This is one of the edge case, and we'll just consider one more edge case, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, I think we are good to go over here.
You have to close the bracket, close the if condition in 44th line.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
The square, the round bracket.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Typing errors. Yeah, so basically what have I done in this piece of code, that I have checked for last character for the string. If that character is greater than the previous one, we'll be just returning the number. Why? Because we have again same case, हमने यहाँ पे ये वाला केस में वो क्लियर कर लिया होगा लास्ट एलिमेंट को भी. अगर वो नहीं किया है, अगर हमने ये केस ही सॉल्व नहीं किया है कि अगर वो छोटा है या इक्वल टू है, तो क्या करेगा कि उसको ऐड कर देगा और उसके बाद में रिटर्न कर देगा. So what we are doing over here is basically checking whether or not the last element is greater than the second last element. If it is greater than, we'll just return the number, because that element would have been considered already in our for loop. And if not, then add that and then return. So I guess we are good to go, and we just need to call this function. Okay, so consider for checking out of the bounds condition, string with length 1 will go RTE. No, it won't, because
It will actually. If the length is 1, then the for loop will not run.
No, then it will come over here, no.
And in that if block, when you are checking the condition, it will give an RT, because the string length is 1. Only 0 index is available. You are going 0 minus.
No.
Yeah, you are going 1 minus 2 will be minus 1. So Index of -1 will be an RT. You can
Okay,
check with some
let's
random.
let's check now. Okay, so we are just considering these two test cases for now, and then we'll be considering for single one. Okay,
Yeah.
we are treating all three of those all together. Okay, so what's that's okay.
The T is capital in the calling function.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I guess we're good to go. Let's keep this at last. Yeah. So we are considering all three of these cases to check whether or not we are um, good to go or not. Yes, yeah, exactly. We are going out of bound. Okay, so if it is only we can just keep the condition over here now. If common dot length equal to one. Um,
Why to give it a else case? No, it will run.
If you are returning, then no need
yeah,
for the
yeah,
block.
sorry. Exactly. Let's save and then run. Yep.
Add IXC also for one test case, please.
IXC.
Yeah.
Well, IXC work. IXC is a valid number.
It's 89.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's returning 99.
I told you that if block, we need to increment it by 2 because it's doing twice that thing.
No, actually, it is not doing twice. It shouldn't return actually 99 because okay, let's just do this now. All of these test cases.
Maybe it is because we are not using counter.
Yeah, maybe let's see. Yeah, okay, we haven't used counter, right? Guys, come on. Yep. So let's run this.
Main function is not closed.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's strange because
Inside that for loop, just try one thing.
Okay, no, I am saying this. Okay, it's not considering it twice. It's it's not subtracting it. Or whether, oh, okay, wait. C is 100, right? So IXC will be 90. And IXC का round क्या होता है? Let's search now. IXC it's showing 109. That's strange. How is IXC 109, guys? Any idea?
What is XC?
XC is 90. Let's check that as well. See, XC is 90. IXC is 109. How is that possible? Okay, let's check this one. XCI. And how it works.
Someone told that IXC is not valid.
Yeah, I think so. IXC is not valid. Let's try this one now. XCI. Just for fun. Yeah, that's 91. That's correct. Okay, so we can do one more thing, no? Like,
Devansh, I have sent a link in the chat section, which online converter, so you can verify in that.
okay. That's nice. Let's do that. Nope. It isn't doing.
You're getting a pop-up.
Okay, IXA is not valid. Okay, also. Okay, so guys, that's not valid. So yeah, we can do this. We can do something like that now. In addition to this problem. So yeah, actually, we have solved this question correctly, but it's not still validating whether or not the string given to it is a valid Roman number or not. Although in questions we will always be given a valid string, but this is the thing which I like the most about competitive programming. We might get to see some of these, instances where we can improvise our algorithm to something more better, more efficient way. So yeah, that was it. Let's get back to our presentation. Yeah. So is my presentation screen visible to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Q&A time if anyone has any questions.
How to take input from command line like we used to see in scanf
I
input?
was going to ask.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to cover that, but couldn't. Okay, let's do that. So it's basically read line sync. The command to get the command line input is read line sync. It's a function. So I guess let's just create a new file. Let's set the product and just type in Okay, we'll need to import that code by the way. And it has this that core or that collection. I forgot which package had that. Let's just try it out.
Maybe Dart.io.
The Dart IO might have that.
Let's do that. No, it was that collection. I guess it was that collection. I didn't remember. I don't remember that actually. And it was like collection dot readline thing. Sort of that. It's not showing up, guys. Let's check in that pad maybe.
Devansh, you need to use the standard output and standard input first, like std in dot readline sync.
Yeah, maybe let's try that. Yeah. Readline thing. And we are just typing into your name. Okay, it's letting me type something. Let's give it a variable.
You need to run that in terminal na, to enter the input.
No, we can use it debug console as well.
I think debug console doesn't support user input.
It does. Apparently it does. So yeah, let's say it does. Let's see, it printed my name. Yeah. No, it didn't
No,
print.
it is not. It doesn't support user input.
Yeah, it doesn't support it. Wait. Why is it so? It's not even running actually. It should print this, no? Enter your name. Any ideas why it is not running?
Because it is running in the background. You can see that the bar is over there.
Try writing custom command on terminal dart filename dot dart.
Yep. Let's do that. Test.dart. Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, it should run in debug console as well.
It is running. It is not running because already some process is running in the background. You can see that the bar over there.
Yeah, this one, no?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so this was it. I don't use VS Code in my routine life, but I'm more of Android Studio kind of person. So yeah. So, any other question? Anyone? Okay, I guess then I'll wrap up then. So this is my socials. This is my social link. I'll be posting this slide on SlideShare. You guys can, if you want to copy this, if you want to get this slides, then you can get these from there. And
Thank you so much,
Your CP
Devansh.
profiles,
sorry.
CP profiles like Code Chef, Code Forces handle and all.
Yeah, I am just using lead code. So I'll just put that profile over here and then just upload it to my SlideShare.
Okay. Nobody has any questions? If you have, you can ask him. Well then, thank you so much, Devansh, for joining us and making the event fun. It was really
Thank you for
great to
having
interact
me.
with you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
so much.
having me. Yeah.
Okay, so before ending the session, I would request all of you guys to turn on the cameras so we can have a little group picture. Okay. Say Flutter. Thank you so much, guys, for joining and being the part of this session. Before leaving, I want to tell you that I have sent the link for feedback forms in the chat section. You can please fill them. And before leaving, please fill them. You will receive your certificates by the end of the day. And follow our YouTube page. You will have this recorded session over there. And Instagram and Twitter handles also. Thank you so much.